This fan theory revolves around the Ghostbusters and Men in Black franchise. For those of you who don't know anything about Ghostbusters or Men in Black, here's a quick run through of them. The movies are basically about ghosts invading New York City, and a group of scientists go out like ghost pest control and catch them in front of other New Yorkers in an attempt to rid the city of ghosts. The first movie ends with a 100-foot tall marshmallow-shaped ghost stomping down the streets of New York with thousands of people cheering the Ghostbusters on, watching them defeat it. At the beginning of the second one, however, no one seems to remember what happened regarding the Ghostbusters. And we find out that they were sued by the city of New York for the events of the first one because everyone assumed that it was like a weird light show and the Ghostbusters put it on and the ghosts aren't real. The movie ends in a similar fashion as the first one, with them animating the Statue of Liberty and defeating an evil ghost with the people of New York cheering them on once again. In the third movie, and people don't seem to remember the Ghostbusters at all. The new Ghostbusters, the female Ghostbusters, they create the ghost-busting team and no one bats an eye mentioning that there was already a group of Ghostbusters back in the 80s. Does it take place in an alternate reality? Different universe? I doubt it, since there's a bust of Egon in the university that he used to teach at, honoring him because he passed away. It's almost like at the end of each Ghostbuster movie, everyone's mind becomes erased. The theory is that at the end of each Ghostbuster movie, the Men in Black come in and wipe the minds of everybody in New York so they don't remember the Ghostbusters. For those of you who don't know who the Men in Black are, the Men in Black, where a secret government organization tries to keep the existence of aliens under wraps. 3 of the Men in Black movies take place in New York, the same place the Ghostbuster takes place. In the comic book, the MIB movies are based off of. They're not just in charge of keeping aliens a secret from the general public, but also demons, mutants, zombies, werewolves, vampires, and paranormal activity. They are a secret government organization with limited amount of funds and employees and resources, so theoretically if they were to hear of a group of Ghostbusters, they would probably just send one of their agents out to find out whether they were the real deal or if they were a hoax, and that's where Winston comes in. The theory is that the MIB sent in an undercover agent to get a better look at what was going on with the Ghostbusters, to make sure that they weren't stepping on any of their turf, or to, ensure that they are in fact fake. In the first MIB movie, Agent K gets his information from reading the supermarket tabloids. And in the first Ghostbuster movie, the first time we see Winston is after the newspaper montage, where they're on like TV and Letterman and all that jazz. That might be how the MIB got word of the Ghostbusters, from all the newspaper attention. Winston gets the job with the Ghostbusters pretty fucking quickly. Maybe Winston erased the mind of the Ghostbusters and then gave them a false narrative saying that they should hire him to ensure that he gets the job on the team. So how the theory would work is after each time the Ghostbusters bust a ghost, Winston would report back to the MIB. Then the MIB would go erase the witnesses' minds that called the Ghostbusters so that they wouldn't remember that they had an encounter and just say it was like a gas leak or there was rats or something like that. The New Yorkers continue to think that ghosts aren't real. That's why after each movie, everyone forgets what happens regarding the ghosts. Everybody besides the Ghostbusters get their memory erased. The Ghostbusters are kept okay in case the ghosts do come back, and the MIB need experts in how to defeat ghosts. Maybe the MIB got the city of New York to sue them so that they would go out of business. In the second Ghostbuster movie, Winston makes a remark to Ray.
Ray, man, face it, Ghostbusters doesn't exist. None of those kids won't even remember who we are.
This could be wishful thinking, hoping that his assignment to watch over the Ghostbusters is almost over so he can go back to, fighting aliens. He's still working with Ray because people are calling the Ghostbusters for birthday parties because some people do remember them, unfortunately. And once they finish performing at the birthday party, the MIB would come in and erase their minds. In the cartoon, The Real Ghostbusters, Winston goes into outer space in one of the episodes, Out of all 4 of the Ghostbusters, it's weird that the only non-scientist would go into space. But if you think of him as a part of the MIB, then it makes a little more sense. Because if he encountered a ghost in space, he could, diffuse the situation instead of freaking out the way the Ghostbusters would. In the 3rd movie, Patty goes to the headquarters of the new Ghostbusters, and though they aren't hiring, she demands a job after seeing the ghost in the subway. Her uncle is played by Ernie Hudson, the same actor who played Winston. Perhaps what happened that when Patty told her uncle about what happened in the subway, he might have demanded her to go get a job with the Ghostbusters to keep an eye on them. That would explain why Patty let them use Ernie Hudson's hearse, even letting them repaint it, whatever it took to get the job, And now we're going to talk about Agent H. Kevin and Agent H are played by the same actor, Chris Hemsworth. But what if they were the same character? Agent H was assigned to watch over the new Ghostbusters to see if they were the real deal or not, like how Winston was, Agent W. That's why he acts so dumb. He's pretending. No one's really that dumb. That also makes it make a little more sense why, Kevin's acting that way. Like, unrealistically stupid. Kevin gets a job as a secretary, but is constantly keeping calls from the female Ghostbusters. Maybe he's doing that so he can inform the MIB first, so they can go down there and deal with the situation and, keep the female Ghostbusters out of the loop. And when, being a secretary doesn't work for him, he gets his own uniform and he forces them to let him be on the Ghostbusters team, not taking no for an answer once again. Or, you could even say that Kevin is a different character entirely. It's not unheard of for the Men in Black movies or the Ghostbuster movies to recast actors for different parts. In the last season of the Men in Black animated series, there's an alien agent named Agent X. So maybe the reason why Kevin is so stupid is because he's an alien. That's where he goes like this because that is where his ears are, In the second Ghostbuster movie, a woman says an alien warned her of an alien invasion in 2016. And MIB International, there is an invasion of alien race called the Hive that is stopped by Agent H. This could have been what she was talking about. So if this fan theory is correct, what happened to the original Ghostbusters? Well, if this is true, then one or two things happened to the original Ghostbusters. Maybe after spending so much time with the Ghostbusters, Winston might have got a soft spot in his heart for them, and he ended up warning them that they had to cut out the ghost-busting stuff or else the MIB would come and erase their memories and give them new identities. Egon stopped his ghost research and got his job back at the university. That's why there's a busk of him there. So the MIB left him alone, while Ray went back to his store and does taxi driving on the side. That's how he was able to know about the Class 5 floating vapor. Peter is a scam artist. We've seen that in the first 2 films, so he might have changed his name and went on to become the fake ghost writer, Martin Hayes. And Winston retired from the MIB. That's why he has a niece now. Maybe once his memory was erased, his Ghostbusters friends bumped into him on the street and filled him in on what happened. That's how he was able to tell Patty to go, watch over the Ghostbusters, because he was worried that, what happened to his friends would happen to the new girls. The second possibility that what could have happened is, after the events of the second film, maybe the MIB got too worried about the Ghostbusters and ended up neutralizing them all. That could also explain why they're different people. They were given new personalities. The last thing I'll comment on is I noticed while doing my research that there's an episode of The Real Ghostbusters where they make the Ghostbuster movie. I also remembered from my childhood that there's an episode of Men in Black, the animated series, where they make the MIB movie with Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. So if they do in fact exist in the same universe, that would mean that The Real Ghostbusters and Men in Black, the animated series, also exist in the same universe, existing outside of the initial universe. So, hope you enjoyed my fan theory regarding the Ghostbusters MIB. If you think it's possible at all, it would be awesome if you gave it a like. If you think it's stupid and it's a weak connection, comment, you know? I just think it's interesting to think about how at the end of each Ghostbuster movie, no one seems to remember what happened.